Well, right behind me you can see a measure of the state of pollution in the national capital. And there's a reason why I'm standing here this week. Because on one take, this week we are going to be focusing on an issue which concerns all of us, you and me, and especially those who are living in the national capital region. That's Delhi, Gurugram to a certain extent, and of course Noida. But Delhi is the focus of our one take this week, because coming up is the big MCD elections. Well, many of you will be asking me that this is after all a municipal council elections. It's a local election, and how does it really matter? Well, there are many reasons why it matters, and I'm going to be focusing on those reasons, primarily two. One, it matters because it's about you and me. It's about our health concerns, our health issues, and ramifications which pollution has on our health on the next generation. And it also tells a story of a complete apathy by our netas. And the second reason why I'm focusing on the MCD elections is because we are seeing a huge fight between the BJP and the Aam Aadmi Party. Will the results of the MCD have a bearing on the political future or the equations between the BJP and the Aam Aadmi Party? Many cynics argue that pollution is never really a poll issue because it is something which only a few people outrage about. The upper middle class, the rich who have an alternatives like either working from home or they have those fancy air purifiers. It's the poor people who perhaps don't even understand what pollution means and what its ramification means, who are the ones who may not be affected by it as far as the poll issue is concerned. Or those who are used to freebies or the reprieve culture, as it's called, may not be that concerned about the deep impact that pollution has on our health, for not now, but for generations to come. But before we discuss whether it should actually become a poll issue, and I'm sure most of you agree with me on that it should be a poll issue because that's the only way you can fix accountability, the MCD elections becomes important for multiple reasons. One, of course, is the fact it falls bang in the middle of the two phases of Gujarat elections. Political observers also say that one of the main reasons why the date has been fixed in such a manner that Arvind Kejriwal and the senior leaders of the Aam Aadmi Party focus their attention on these elections rather than on Gujarat, and it becomes easier as far as the BJP's total match or scoreboard is concerned. But I think this is also important because this is an opportunity where you fix accountability. Whenever we have spoken and asked questions of the Delhi government, they have walked away by saying that they cannot be held responsible because it's something which the centre must be doing. Last time round, when they were not in power in Punjab, the blame was put on stubble burning in Punjab. But this time round, the Aam Aadmi Party is in power in Punjab as well. If you look at the figures put out by the Agriculture Ministry and by the Environment Ministry, it tells a story of passing the buck. It tells a story about how alternatives to stubble burning are not being used effectively by the Punjab government. It also gives us statistics which shows that at least 90 to 95% of Delhi's pollution problems comes because of stubble burning, and how this is not being acknowledged by the state government. On how a review meeting which was held of those states which are affected by stubble burning like Uttar Pradesh, Haryana and Delhi shows us startling figures. 90 to 95% of those stubble burning cases comes in from Punjab, and Delhi has been affected, and because of which Delhi has not even responded. At least that's what the Environment Ministry says. This, of course, has been outrightly rejected by the Delhi government and the Chief Minister and the Aam Aadmi Party as well. Which is why the MCD elections becomes a decisive factor in concluding or deciding the equations both AAP and the BJP will have. And if the Aam Aadmi Party does not do well in the MCD elections or is completely decimated, then of course for the BJP it's a win-win situation. It's going to be their way of pointing out to the Aam Aadmi Party that, look, you completely neglected the concerns of the Aam Janta of Delhi. So what kind of an alternative are you going to be for the BJP in 2024? It's a known fact that Arvind Kejriwal has or rather nurtures national ambitions. If he did not do so, he wouldn't have looked at Punjab. Buoyed by the win in Punjab and having a government in Delhi, the Aam Aadmi Party has now started looking elsewhere. Immediately their focus is on Gujarat, and we've been seeing that a lot of time is being spent by the Punjab Chief Minister and Arvind Kejriwal in Gujarat, so much so there is this mounting criticism on him that he is not giving focus on the pollution problems of the NCR region or the people of Delhi and more on Gujarat. This is exactly what the BJP is talking about. In fact, the MCD elections is likely to turn up between a battle between Dhua and Kura. Why so? Because you also remember where Arvind Kejriwal had actually gone there to the garbage pile-up where Delhi's garbage gets accumulated, making the point that look at the BJP scant regard for the people of the national capital, because this is something which falls under the domain of the BJP and the BJP-controlled MCD, and therefore, who are they to point a finger at us? But the BJP responds by saying, please talk less. In fact, focus on cleaning up the air. I'm going to be a little cynical about wondering whether pollution really ends up as a poll issue for the MCD elections. But I would watch out for these elections because, one, primarily as a citizen of Delhi and a person who lives in the NCR region, I would wonder whether our netas have actually been held up to accountability. But more than that, as a political reporter and someone who's watching the politics play out, it's going to have a deep impact possibly on AAP's political campaign in future and its political strategy. First of all, it will certainly want to emerge, if not as a number one, certainly as a number two party in Gujarat. I think to a certain extent one is undermining the importance of the Congress party, because those who have been visiting Gujarat, and I would certainly be doing that next week, the sense we get is that as far as the Congress's traditional vote bank is concerned, in the rural areas, in the tribal areas, that's more or less remained intact. In fact, some also say that the Congress doesn't even have to step out of its home to campaign. They are going to be sure that they get that kind of a votes from those regions. So in that case, will actually Congress emerge as the second largest party or the number two party in Gujarat? So what impact will it have on AAP's national ambitions? In the context of all this, of course, are going to be the MCD electoral results. Now, if the AAP loses the MCD elections, for the BJP and for the Congress party, it would be a reason to smile. Because if anyone gets affected most by the growth of AAP, it is the Congress party. And the Congress party, though, is not being seen anywhere in Delhi, not even much in the MCD elections, it certainly is going to point a finger at AAP saying, so much for your national ambitions, you still have a long way to go. That's pretty much what the BJP is also going to be telling the Aam Aadmi Party. That you cannot nurture national ambitions if you're not even able to win the people's elections, because the local elections, the benchmark often of state politics and national politics, becomes about how you win these local elections. Remember, the power of Mamata Banerjee or her rise in the Bengal politics also began when she started winning the panchayat elections, which is why she understands that even if she is in power in that state, she needs to win in the upcoming panchayat elections next year. That's the aggression between the BJP and the Trinamool Congress, which is why the BJP is also focusing on panchayat elections. If you look at, for example, the BMC polls in Mumbai, that becomes a power point as far as the Shiv Sena is concerned, which is why the Eknath Shinde plus Devendra Fadnavis government is also eyeing those BMC polls. And that's pretty much the reason why it is important and imperative, I would say, for AAP's national growth to do well at the MCD elections. Will the people be shortchanged in the process? Will the Delhi state government actually fix accountability and take responsibility? Well, that's another story to tell. But much will depend on these MCD elections. Do you agree with me on this? Do give in your reactions on the social media timeline. Thank you so much for watching.